Okay guys, I'm going to go just through a couple more of these overheads and then I'm going to have you finish this out yourself, and I will start doing some of the software demo to get you started as well. I'll remember the skills review, and then one of the projects also is due at the end of the week on Sunday. Sunday night at midnight. The skills review, it does have you just kind of save and open and save, and doesn't really, you may not be able to see something that's actually accomplished, but please go through the process because it does help familiarize you with the different panels and tools and menu items that are available. So, okay, with that said, let's get started working with objects and smart guides. And I use this all the time. As we go back over to Illustrator here, the paste in front command copies and pastes a copy of whatever you had selected and gave the command to copy, paste it right in front. So for example, I have this selected and I could go to Edit, Copy, Edit, Paste in front. Now normally I would never do it that way. I would instead select this and do Command or Control C, Command or Control F, which pastes that in front. And again, I use this frequently. The paste in back, it does exactly the same thing. Command C and Command B, and that pastes an object in back. And then the paste in place command functions identically to the paste in front. Use it again all the time. The nice thing about it is that you can Command C or copy it and then you can paste it in front, and the one that remains selected is the one that it just pasted in front. So maybe you want to change a color and make it transparent or something like that, add some transparency to the front copy. Well, that's what's nice about it, is it's automatically selected. One of the nice things. All right, you can also copy objects while dragging them in Illustrator if you press and hold Alt if you're on a PC, or Option if you're on a Mac, and you'll see this little white arrow is added to the black arrow, and then if you just click and drag, sure it does, makes a copy of it. There you go. The behavior is referred to just as I did as a drag and drop a copy. I say click and drag, but it's something you'll do a lot of in Illustrator, and I do. That is the truth. The hide, lock, group, and ungroup commands, and those are on the object menu, are essential for a number of different things, but for working specifically with complex layouts that have a lot of objects. You can also hide these objects to get them out of your way, or you can hide the objects on the layers panel. So you see that I have this one selected, this object on my artboard selected, and you'll see that in my layers panel, and we haven't spent a lot of time in layers yet, but the little blue icon indicates that that is the one that's selected. So I can turn it off, and what happens, it's obviously no longer visible, but it won't print. You can't accidentally move it if you don't want to move it. You can also lock it just to be doubly safe, but just hiding it does also accomplish that same job. You can group multiple objects with the group command on the object menu. So again, in Illustrator, if I were to select all of these, and you'll see that on my artboard or on my layers panel I have them selected, and then I can do a Command or Control G, Command on a Mac, Control if you're on a PC, and G is going to group those. And what makes that nice is that all I need is the black arrow and click once, and that clicks and selects that entire group. And remember, I have this one locked, so it's not gonna select that. Now it's unlocked, so I can select them all again, do a Command G, get my selection tool, click and drag, and they drag as a group. They will edit as a group if you want to do a number of different things with them as a group. If you want to get just one of them out of that group, you get the group selection tool and you can select just one item. You can also double click, and that will then bring up the remaining group as a grouped whole. Now the other selection tool that's kind of cool is this if you click and hold on this, this is the direct selection tool. So now I have got this one object selected. I can click here. I'm just clicking and dragging a little imaginary rectangle around the top right corner of that object, and you'll see that that just selects that one anchor point. And what that allows me to do then is to again select just anchor points, single anchor points, and then to edit that shape by anchor point if I chose to do that. All right, we just did that. Now, aligning objects, you'll find smart guides to be really effective. I don't always depend on those, but they will give you a great opportunity to align objects with a smart guide. Normally a little blue icon comes up or a blue message telling me where I am aligning it and so forth. I'm not sure where that is. I might I might have that turned off. Just a moment, please. All right, sorry guys for that interruption. I was just in the process of looking to see if I had accidentally disabled the smart guides. It's actually taking a little bit more time than what I want it to. So the smart guides are green. They are alignment, object highlighting. No, I should be able to see them via my preference. Let's see if I've got the smart guides visible. Well, I don't know what to tell you other than normally you can see the guides. They will become apparent when I get close to and it looks like I'm going to align these two to the center. It may be because I have the grid showing as well. It will typically give me a little tooltip that will say I'm aligning via the center or the edges or whatever. So really is a nice option. And I'm not quite sure. I'm just gonna get rid of this grid. Maybe that will help. Well, that's a mystery, and I'll work on that. And if I come up with a solution in the near future, I will get back with you about it. But it may just be a default that I need to reset. But try your system and make sure your smart guides work, because that is a really nice, easy, immediate way to align. Not that it's the only way. If I had to make sure that these were going to be aligned, I could go to this alignment grid here, and it will again show me how to align, if I want to align it by center point, if I want to distribute it differently, if I want to align it vertically along the right edge or the left edge. So again, this is with the alignment panel. So anyway, smart guides should be activated. I don't know why it's not showing, but check with yours and make sure that it is, because it is a handy tool. And this gives you an idea as to how, when working with objects and smart guides, the smart guide, oh my gosh, I am so sorry. I'll be back in just a moment. All right, guys, again, apologize for that interruption. I had contemplated starting over again, but that's like the third time I've started this over, so I'm just going to have you bear with me through a couple of those interruptions. Again, talking about smart guides, aligning the top edges of two objects. We'll show you here what the smart guide looks like as you are aligning the circle with the square. Bitmap images are created using a square or rectangular grid of colored squares called pixels. That's typically what you would work with in software like Photoshop, for example. Because pixels, a contraction of picture elements, and elements can render subtle gradations of tone. They are the most common medium for continuous tone images. What you perceive as a photograph, and in terms of file format, JPEG would be a bitmap image or a pixel-based image. And you'll see that in this particular example, here's a bitmap image that we've zoomed in on, and we'll show you how the image is actually created through a variety or through a number of pixels. Scanned images are composed of pixels. Digital images are composed of pixels. The number of pixels in a given inch is referred to as the image's resolution. And to be effective, pixels must be small enough to create an image with the illusion of continuous tone. I'm going to do a file and place, and I'm going to bring in a bitmap image. I hope I can find one on my desktop. Well, this is a screenshot of an article that I'm working on. Now, let me see if by zooming in on this image, all right, so you can see all of the pixels that are associated with this particular image and how each one's a different color, different value perhaps, but all comprised to make up this particular continuous tone image or bitmap image. This you see, it was a screenshot. It's kind of an anomaly because it's an image that I had placed in InDesign and then took a screenshot of so I could send it to the person that I was designing it for to see if they liked it or not. So, but in the final analysis, the objective is to show you the pixels, and that's where they are. Important thing to remember about bitmap images is that any magnification of the image, resizing the image to be bigger, for example, essentially means that fewer pixels are available per inch. And that results in a decrease in resolution, and it will ultimately have a negative impact on the quality of the image. You have to be just vigilant about the resolution of the image that you're placing and using. Whether it's on the web, if you place something that's too large, for example, web pages will load more slowly. People get, tired and of waiting, and so we'll go on to another web page. That's not a good thing. And then if you print a lowered resolution image, it's not clear, and again, it's just as bad to print with a low resolution as it is to upload to the web with a high resolution image. So you do have to understand the differences between the two and what works in what particular application. Okay, so I mentioned that I would only keep you a little bit this morning, and then I'm going to have you cover the remaining PowerPoint on your own. I will upload the PowerPoint individually aside from this particular YouTube video so that you have the opportunity to do that. And I'll be back probably within the next day with some software demos for you to review. Okay, great. Thanks for bearing with me over the course of the last 3 tedious videos, and hopefully we're going to have a good semester together. See you in a few.